Is it video recording or just voice recording?
It's video.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lawrence Wagner with Spark Mindset. And Spark Mindset is a social enterprise that's looking to end poverty and violence in low socioeconomic communities by creating a diverse and inclusive environment in corporations, high schools, and local communities. One of the ways we want to go about doing this is creating a virtual reality educational gaming platform that would teach high school students, particularly in the 9th and 10th grade, cybersecurity, coding, and entrepreneurship. And we're primarily focused on underserved communities, but we'll be offering this to all high schools. So we decided to focus on two education models. The first one is adaptive learning. We chose this because students will progress through it faster, and it's a higher quality of them learning. It adapts to their different abilities, so as they're going through the program, it would challenge them to think differently, and because each student learns differently, it would tap into the way that they learn. It engages students. So by using an adaptive learning, it really engages the students to actually participate in the learning, but also give feedback. And then teachers are able to assess the data. So teachers, through our dashboard, will be able to track where students are having troubles or where students, or how they're progressing, how they're learning. So, and we'll get more into the teachers portion of what they're going to be doing in this environment, but with an adaptive learning model, it's collaboration between the student and the teacher within the learning. Another model we're going to be using is computational thinking. And so what computational thinking is really taking different programs and breaking it down into smaller pieces. So we decided to come up with a virtual reality platform. So we decided to use technology. But in that technology is breaking down cybersecurity into smaller pieces, smaller classes. One of the reasons is because we can predict troubles in the future, and we can create models around that. So as the students learn through the game, they have to go through different levels of different process. We can adapt those processes based on how the industry changes, whether the technology changes. And so students are still learning, but that learning is in a very limited structure way. So it's still some structure, but it's limited based on the adaptive thinking. So we're going to create this in Microsoft's mixed reality. This is pretty much new technology, and what it does is it scans the room and create a virtual reality environment. And the reason we chose virtual reality because we want to have a way to engage students. And so students learn faster based on a study from Memphis, that students learn faster playing video games because they're interactive and fun. So this is a way for them to learn the skills. Another statistics is while they're immersed in the virtual reality, they will be able to learn faster because their cognitive thinking. You learn when you do things. So as they're building the platforms and coding, as they're building what they're doing in cybersecurity, because they're actually physically doing that with their minds, they will retain that information a lot easier and a lot quicker. So we decided to pick 3 tracks: cybersecurity, coding, and entrepreneurship. We did this based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics data that shows cybersecurity is supposed to increase 3.5 million unfulfilled jobs by 2021. And in coding, there will be a 17% increase in software development jobs in 2020. And by 2020 also, 40% of people will either be working as an independent contractor or self-employed. So a lot of these people go out and they do these things without the entrepreneurial skills to be able to fulfill these tasks. So we want to give them those skills to be able to be their own bosses, so to speak. So we're going to run you through the cybersecurity track. So picture a student. He has not used or have not been exposed to any technology. So he knows nothing about cybersecurity, knows nothing about computers. He'll come in, he'll press one of the modules based on what level he's at, and then he will go in there and experience the game. So like some of the tracks are data analysis, computer science, and network and internet. So basically this student will come in with no knowledge. He'll go through our program and be ready to take the Security Plus certification once he's finished our program. So this teaches him like all the entry-level skills that he needs to be able to become an entry-level cyber analyst once he finished the program. So we chose to gamify this because study shows that when students are in it playing a game, it challenges them. So it helps them with critical thinking. It also gives them a sense of achievement. So every time they accomplish something, they want to do it more because they've achieved it. They've achieved the goal. And so it also prevents them from falling back behind the rest of the class because they want to keep up with their peers. Competition. So that's one of the reasons why we gamified it. Another way is that we can track the skills that each student gets based on what level he's at, and then we also incorporate a badging technique as well. So speaking of leveling up, as a student goes up a level, he has retained that skill at that level. Initially, how that's going to be tracked is through assessment. So at the end of each level, he will take an assessment. It would let us know if he has passed that test. Hold on, my screen moved on me. Oh. Okay. Also, we want that student to gain common core skills in math and science. So every time he goes up a level, he gets math and science skills. He also gets technical skills. At some point, we will have him put together a project, and putting together a project will equate to taking an assessment. But this is after we collected enough data in our prototype to be able to say we're able to move to that next step. So badging, each student will earn badges, and they earn badges by helping other students. So unlike, getting a badge based on some kind of self-achievement, their badges come from helping other students. They have to graduate with 3 to 5 badges. So what that does is teach them collaboration, teach them teamwork. It also teaches them problem skills, not from solving problems just for themselves, but how do I solve problems in a way that helps other people? So we feel like this will teach them how to interact with their coworkers in the real world. Yeah. So each student will be able to see a dashboard, and that dashboard would track each student data. So the students will see their assessment scores, they'll see what levels they're at, they will see portions of the program where they were having trouble, but also what it does is it allows the teachers and administrators to see this data as well. So teachers can actually know that a student is having trouble real time. So whether the student lets the teacher know that she's having trouble or whether she goes into the system and actually sees, she can tell where each student is at and can see how she can help them if they're having trouble. So this is like an early warning that someone may be falling behind or someone's maybe like excelling above everyone else. We're also going to create a virtual community. So we feel like a lot of people don't have a support system, and we want to provide them with that support system of peers that can encourage them to go through. Also, by being in virtual reality, they learn learn from a diverse group of people. So in there, they can learn from people from different backgrounds, from different ethnic groups, different genders, really a diverse environment. So they begin to learn how to collaborate early. In this community, they will also this is where they ask the questions for other fellow students. So the only people that will have access to this virtual community is the students themselves, the teachers, and then my team who will be monitoring to make sure that it's always a safe environment. And we'll be able to have, with data analytics, track any behavior that's not appropriate. We are also providing workforce development skills. So we're going to partner with USAA and provide financial literacy. We're going to teach resume writing. We're going to teach how to deal with conflict. So in our program, students will only be in virtual reality for half the program. The other half of the program, time that they're there, they will be working with their teachers and then working with the workforce development team. So what we want to do is create the whole person, because our goal is to partner with organizations. So once these students are finished our program, that they can start internships as early as the 11th grade. And then they can be able to get jobs once they graduate high school. So in cybersecurity, in coding, and that way we look to transform communities by providing them with like real jobs that can actually break the cycle of poverty in their family. So our facilitators. So we are moving away from the teacher-directed model. We are now going to provide teachers with material and resources to help facilitate, also help ask these student questions. So when they're in their time, when they're out of the game, the teachers can ask open-ended questions that can get information from the students on where they're at, but the students can also be able to share where they're at in the game, their experiences. And what this does is it builds a relationship between the teacher and the student. So now the teacher is looked at someone who's trying to help, and she can actually focus her time on the people who are having trouble instead of trying to teach a whole class as a whole. So she can focus on that individual student because while they're going through the program, it's a self-paced program. So they can provide a positive, thoughtful, open dialogue, and it challenged the teacher to become a lifelong learner just like the student. So as the student is growing and they're learning, the teacher is too. And so this model builds a bond, a stronger bond between the teacher and the students that benefits everyone going around. With that, do you have any questions? Hello? Oh. Hello?
Not yet. Is that the end?
Yeah, that's the end.
Hello? Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's the end.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay.
I think the internet is slow.
I'm just looking back at some of the things I wrote down. I wouldn't be surprised. So, so are you looking to get community partners engaged when it comes to the workforce development piece, which is certainly a focus for me and my role? And are you looking to get community partners, corporations? What are you looking to do in terms of building this program or partnering with other community members in this program?
So yes, we actually are being invited to a state conversation on cybersecurity as being a pre-apprenticeship program. We also are reaching out to organizations that will be looking for cybersecurity analysts along with coding companies to be able to place these students with. So yes, we will be looking for partnerships to be able to place, so these students don't have to go look for these jobs, we'll place them.
Okay. And how are you collecting these partners, or are you looking for other community players in this arena who are also doing workforce development and wanting to get into these sectors of the community? How are you wanting to kind of convene these people or see what companies you can reach out to, or what pool of companies that might be interested in doing this with you?
Okay, so one is going through this meeting with the state. That's going to help. This meeting on November 13th is where there's leaders from the state that's looking for in cybersecurity. Right now, there's only one pre-apprenticeship program that's in coding. There's none in cybersecurity. So
okay,
our first level is working with the state. Our other is reaching out. Like, we've already been in contact with Zayo Group about how we can begin to partner with them. So as I'm out in the community, I'm meeting different people and really looking to build those kind of partnerships as I'm out in the community. So we've also
when
the Colorado Technical Association and organizations like that.
Yep. Oh, good. Okay. So when are you wanting to try to launch the apprenticeship programs in cybersecurity and coding? Is there a time frame that you're looking at? Is it 2018 or first quarter, second quarter? What is your timing?
Well, it's actually going to be 2019, 2020 will be
2020. Okay.
Yeah. So 2018 is when we plan on taking the teachers through.
Okay.
The beginning of 2019 is when we plan on taking our first group of students through. So once the students go through that first year, then we're going to be looking to place them immediately once they finish.
Okay, so you said 2018, you're taking the teachers?
Yes.
Okay. And then what happens in 2019?
That's when the first group of students will go through.
Okay. And then 2020?
Is when that class graduated, and we'll be looking to expand the program to other schools and also bring in the next class.
Okay. And how long is this, like the structure of these classes? How long is this whole program, or what's the duration of this?
So the program is going to be a year because we don't want to push students too much. And keep in mind, especially in the 9th grade, a lot of them will come in with some knowledge, but not much knowledge. So we're going to be teaching them and also training them in that workforce development piece as well. So we didn't want to rush the program.
Okay. And so the companies you're trying to bring, this is my last question, the companies that you're trying to bring on board, is it like a contractual basis to where you want them to be a part of this year process for this duration of the program?
So what we're going to look at is not necessarily the companies being part of the program, is once they finish. So
Okay.
we want these partnerships is, okay, after these students has gone through, we agree to hire them as interns.
Yep.
So
Okay.
the good thing about them being an intern is they're still learning. So now they're in the work environment and they're learning
Yes.
from a work environment. So again, that's why we're picking 9th and 10th grade. So when you come out of high school, you're prepared. You've
Yep.
gotten the training, you've gone through some internship, you've gotten more training. Companies are willing to keep you because they've invested in you. So when you
Right.
graduate out of high school, they don't want you to go
Yep.
get a job somewhere else. They want you to come work for the company.
You bet.
And it also solves this diversity problem when they say we can't find diverse talent. Well,
Diverse workforce.
Here's going to be a much newer, diverse workforce, and it's going to be a much younger workforce that's coming out of high school. So
Right.
they can actually get more work with that person before that person ends up leaving, because they have had them 2 years while they were in high school, plus a
Right.
number of years when they come out of high school.
And so the whole goal is for these companies to then turn around and hire, after these apprenticeship programs, to hire these students
Yes.
on a full-time level. And then would the company help provide additional training in that arena once they're on board as an employee of that company?
Yes. So we expect them to actually be giving them training as an intern, helping them. And so then when they come on board, that particular person doesn't have to get a degree, but if they do need to get a degree, they have a job, right? So they can go to school around based on the job. That's a big deal, because with their job, they may not have to go pay for going to college. They can pay because they have a job. So that eliminates a lot of their debt. But again, it keeps that company still, it keeps that student with that company. But it also gives the student options as he's moving along with his career.
Great. No, thank you very much. That was excellent. That was all my questions.
Okay. So any feedback you have for me?
Yeah. Are you looking at just on the content or your presentation of it, or?
Either or.
Okay. I would just overall be confident in yourself. Be confident in what you're promoting and what this is all about. This is a great program. And as you know, what we're doing here at IP, this totally falls into alignment with our mission and our place, both in workforce development, but also in connecting and bridging that gap between corporate and between the whole public-private partnerships between education and between the workforce, and between companies that are in the position to give in these areas. So you are along the same path that we are. Continue to be confident in what you're saying, and how you say it. Were you nervous at all, or how do you
Yeah, I was a little nervous.
feel about the whole public speaking of
I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
So the more I do it, the more I'm pitching, the more I'm doing these kind of videos, I'm getting stronger.
Yeah. But your message is your message is clear, And your messaging, as far as the presentation piece, just, take your time and be confident. You know what you're saying. You know your stuff. But overall, I think it was really good.
Thank you. So thank you for taking the time to allow me to interview you.
Yeah. Thank you for including me in this. Yeah. Yes, you bet.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Have a
Good luck
day.
with everything.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Okay, you too. Bye-bye.